Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Kenyon Jones, and today's topic is mentorship. Mentorship. When we think about the word mentorship, almost immediately we associate mentorship with an adult mentoring a child. But in my travels, in my journey of always committing myself to being a lifelong learner, committing myself to being better each day. So by the time Wednesday comes, I'm different than I was on Sunday. By the time Saturday comes, I'm different than I was on Wednesday. You know, that mentality of always growing, always getting better, always improving, always being transformed, always moving in an upward direction. I'm always thinking, how can I give myself an edge? How can I get myself to another level? And if I'm already at a point that I'm satisfied, then that means I have to go and help somebody else so that they can get there. So for me, when I think mentorship, I don't only think about an adult mentoring a child. I think about a person who has a level of expertise and some wisdom, some knowledge, some understanding, and some documentation in their particular field, on their particular endeavor or their setting. I think about being able to have that person help me get to that next level and allow me to be able to learn from them so that I can get to the next level and that I can be a person who knows what needs to be done in order to be successful. So today I had a very interesting conversation with a gentleman that I respect tremendously. And, as a man, sometimes it's hard to admit that you look up to somebody else, especially someone who's in your field and someone who does pretty well for themselves. But because I'm in a position in my life, I'm at a stage in my life where I don't have time to be proud. I don't have time to really let pride take over. I'm in a place right now in my life where I had to humble myself. And the reason why I had to humble myself is because I want the information. I want to grow. I want to become great. I want to be a go-to guy. I consider myself a player, but if I really am the player that I think I am, then I have to do what the real players do. So the real players, they humble themselves. The real players all have people who mentor them. The real players are the ones who are continually in a space of learning and growing. So they all commit themselves to lifelong learning. So since I consider myself one of those people, I consider myself somebody who is in that circle, in that sphere of influence. I have to do what those people do. So I know that there's some areas in my life that I haven't achieved success yet, that I desire to achieve success. And in order for me to be able to get there, I have to say I need some help. So I reached out to this gentleman and politely called and said, thank you, for everything that you've done. I really appreciate, the way you do business. But my call today is basically asking you to mentor not only myself, but my wife, because we really want to be able to get to the next level. And this gentleman definitely appreciated the fact that I reached out, but he said something to me that was very profound and something that I will never forget. And he says, do you know what you're asking for when you're asking me to mentor you? Because I hear what you're saying, but I want to know if you know what you're asking for. And when he said it, I said, of course, I do. I know what I'm asking for. But whenever somebody asks a question to an adult who understands something, it's not so that the question can make a person feel less than. That question was a question so that it could resonate with me about the level that I'm saying that I want to go to. So in other words, the question was a rhetorical question just so that I could hear what I was asking for. Because if I'm asking for this mentorship, then that means I'm ready to go to the next level. And if that's the case, there's some benchmarks, there's some things that have to be done in order to get to that next level. So then he proceeded to ask me, do you have this? Did you accomplish this? Did you do this yet? Did you do that yet? And for 4 out of the 5 questions, I said yes, 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 right? That might have been 5 yeses. I don't know. But the 5th question, I was able to say no. I haven't done that. And he stopped right there and he said, okay, that's what you need to focus on. And once you do that, the next thing you have to do is you call me. I'm not going to call you to see if you did it. You call me. So now what I've done is I've created for myself a level of accountability. And not only did I create a level of accountability for myself, now I have to show if I'm one of 3 people. Am I an amateur? Am I a poser? Or am I a professional? There's 3 types of people. There's amateurs, there's posers, and there's professionals. And because I consider myself a professional who is learning, who is up and coming, now I have to do what professionals do. Professionals keep their word. Professionals are on time. Professionals are making sure that everyone has what they need. Professionals are there when nobody else is there. Professionals step up and they do what professionals need to do. You know, so once this challenge was put out to me, now in the back of my mind, right, this understanding of this is on you now resonates with me. And it's funny because the young men that I work with, I'm always telling them, I'll meet you halfway, but I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. You know, so if this is what you say you want to do, I'll meet you, but I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to persuade you. I'm not going to convince you. I will meet you where you say you want to go. And in essence, what I say to the young men all the time was really brought back to me. So now here it is. I'm the young man again. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of being young and understanding the game that I'm involved in. You know? So now I have to show that I really want to do what I'm saying that I want to do. And so many times in our lives, we want people to mentor us. We want people to show us the way. And then when they step up and put those benchmarks in our face and that level of accountability, we realize what it is and we say, you know what? I don't want that. And then we shrink back down to a life of mediocrity. We shrink back down to that place where we're not productive. We shrink back down to that place where now we're not growing. We're not necessarily getting worse, but we're just staying in the same spot. And I was always told, if you're not growing, then you're dying. That's what I was always told. If you're not growing, then you're dying. So in other words, just because you're staying in the same spot doesn't mean that everything is okay. Just because you're staying in the same spot doesn't mean that everything is all good. Just because you're staying in the same spot doesn't mean that it is what it is. No, something's happening. Because if you're not growing, if you're not stepping up your reading game, if you're not associating yourself with individuals who are great at what they do, then what are you doing? What are you really doing? You know what I'm saying? So the reality of it is that mentorship is more than an adult mentoring a child. Mentorship is when we humble ourselves. Everybody repeat after me. Say, humble myself. When we humble ourselves and we submit to the information that is going to transform us and get us to that place, that level of success that we all desire to go to. So with that, I want to thank everyone for their support of Kenyon Jones Presents. Thank you for those who subscribe on YouTube. More are welcome to subscribe. You know, my goal and my vision is to make sure that I empower, encourage, and inspire people to achieve their goals, realize their dreams, and be the best that they can be in whatever career, whatever endeavor they desire worldwide. That's my mission. That's my personal mission, and that's my mission for my nonprofit, the Exodus 100. So with that, I want to say thank you for watching, and God bless.